Alright everyone, it's time for an extra special video. Elon Musk apparently has been successful. It's being reported by Reuters, among other groups, that Elon Musk actually will be sold Twitter. His hostile takeover bid worked. Now here's my expectations, because I don't really care who runs a website. Elon Musk, some amorphous board of creators or individuals. It doesn't really matter as far as who runs a site. It matters more the pragmatic fallout for the actual people that are using the site. Twitter is predominantly, it's comprised of users, tens of millions of individuals. It's sort of like YouTube used to be. YouTube was about creators. Now it's about a handful of AstroTurf priority channels, but, in the past it was about people creating content. That was the whole point. And that was why the site shined. Here's my expectations with regards to this. And this is assuming, of course, that the legacy medias that are reporting that Elon Musk has been accepted by the Twitter board in his offer. This is assuming that that actually goes through. There can be 11th hour shenanigans, so we'll get past that and just assume that this is actually the case. My expectation, link in the description, archived of course, to this story, is that even minor reductions in censorship would be helpful to the site. Twitter is made up, again, as I said, of users. Individual users, which put out their individual thoughts, they put out their tweets. They say cringy shit, they say poignant shit, they link things out, they do whatever they want to do. That is the entire point of the site. It's sort of like YouTube. The whole point of the site was that individuals made videos, they put it on the site, and they got views. And I know that's the way it worked back in the good old days. With Twitter, there's not as much of a way to AstroTurf the site as with YouTube. With YouTube, you can just promote a handful of priority creators, AstroTurfers, legacy media, etc. And you can force that down people's throat with the algorithm and hope that they pay attention to it. Twitter's not quite the same structure. If he indeed does gain control of the site, I expect several things to happen. Number one, I expect that the censorship level globally will decrease. That is not to say that I believe that Elon Musk is a principled free speech warrior. He's not. He's in this for the money. However, as I've pointed out several times before, if he looks at the situation and says, look, all of the mainline tech sites, the biggest ones, Twitter, YouTube, Apple, etc., they're all censoring more and more people. What if we're the one that doesn't censor so many of these people? We welcome them back aboard. They're not using Apple. They're not on YouTube. They're not on TikTok. They're not on any of our competitors. The only place they can go is Twitter. As far as having a mainline audience, new tech is great. I use a lot of new tech. I'm on Gab, I'm on BitChute, I'm on Odyssey, etc., etc. I use Rumble every single day. If we're the only mainline tech site, the one with huge audiences, we're the only one that's actually offering them a place to be, they will be here. And so you could see Fuentes, Stéphane Malnoux, you could see the Doctor of Common Sense. All of these people who have been wrongfully treated by big tech, they suddenly flood back aboard. Shit, some of these people have 7-figure audiences. All of a sudden, Twitter grows. All of a sudden, instead of the stock tanking like it has for several years, all of a sudden it takes off. Well, Elon Musk makes money. And that's his whole goal in here, is to make money, and so you want to welcome more people aboard. We also had rumblings literally the other day about him demanding that Trump be reinstated on the platform. If Elon Musk reinstates Trump on Twitter, whether or not Trump continues to actively use it is an entirely different matter. There's no way to predict whether he would abandon the Truth Social thing, which just launched fully to Apple, but it's still not available for people using Google for their apps. It's also, there's no desktop experience, so I can't use it. If Trump were to get back on Twitter, it would be the biggest thing ever. I mean, it'd be the biggest thing in tech in years, since the banning of Trump, arguably. All of a sudden, he would have the soapbox. He would have this platform. He'd be able to speak freely. Probably have enough people on there that Elon Musk wouldn't want to ban him back off the platform. I think it would be good. It would be positive for the American people especially to be able to hear from Donald Trump, who is not an insurrectionist. He did nothing wrong. He broke no rules. He broke no law. It would be interesting to see his side of the tech conversation as well. You might get to the point where you have a weird interchange between Trump and Elon Musk. That would be probably the most popular thread in the site's history. The site hasn't even peaked yet under Elon Musk's leadership, potentially. Elon Musk doesn't have to be a libertarian. All he has to do is be in it for the money and have the realization, and this is what I think he has. I hope that this is true. I hope this is what happens going forward. All he has to do is realize that you can make enormous amounts of money, billions of dollars, maybe tens of billions. All you have to do is be the one mainline tech site that's already established that does not ban everyone. Because all of the other sites are banning everyone. They are slowly grinding down all of the actual content creators that made their sites in the first place. YouTube has banned the majority of interesting people off of its site that were there in the 2000s. That were there in the early 2010s, mid-2010s. Only Johnny-come-latelys are even allowed to have speech on the platform, generally speaking. Most of the people that you'll see in the recommended list are astroturfed. If they're independent at all, they're either astroturfed or it's like CNN or something like that. Imagine that you have one mainline tech platform with a large audience that goes against the grain. It'll gobble all those people up. People will begin leaving other platforms for Twitter under Elon Musk's leadership. Now, again, we are not 100% sure that this is not fake news. Just because Reuters reports it doesn't make it necessarily true. The Hill and some of these others. Well, let's use a little bit of caution here. But let's be cautiously optimistic about the possibility that finally, at long last, after years and years of the slow demise of mainline tech, there will be one mainline tech platform that actually welcomes open debate, open discussion. Doesn't need Elon Musk to be a principled libertarian. It just needs him to be in it for the money. That's all we need. That's about all. Peace out.